Who's ready to talk about longevity? All right. So what's our problem? We're living longer but aging faster than ever. The average person is spending their last 16 years declining. That's not going to happen with you guys, though. No one in YPO is going to be declining like that. The big three of aging. So most of aging comes down to these three things. Mitochondrial dysfunction. So you start to lose your cell's battery. You're running on empty. Oxidative stress. We have these beautiful cells, then they start to get damaged, and then they start looking like that. We don't want our cells looking like that. And then inflammation. We all know what inflammation is. It's good when it's acute, but when we have it long term, it's creating damage. What's driving the damage? So genetically, some of us are programmed to age faster than others. Poor lifestyle choices. I'm not judging however much tequila is going around here tonight. Environmental factors. This is one of the most underrated things in aging, toxins. If anyone here has worked with me, they know I preach about toxins. You know I've removed plastic bottles from your life. Who have I done that for? Who stopped drinking? Yeah, a lot of you guys don't drink out of plastic anymore because of me. But it's really underrated. You want to be eating organic foods. You really want to be mindful. We live in a very toxic world, and it's causing our cells a lot of damage. And then stress. Who looks like that throughout the day here? No one's raising their hand, but I know you guys, come on. Josh, I know you look like that throughout the day. Okay. What's the difference between men and women, though? So as we age, men start to lose their drive. I'm not talking about your ambition, but this is really biologically losing your drive. So a lot of you guys come to me, you say, my recovery's down, it's harder to gain muscle, I'm tired despite how much I sleep. That's because testosterone's going down, DHEA is going down, and growth hormone is going down. Remember these three hormones. These are one of the main reasons why you feel the way you do as you age. And then women, you lose rhythm. Men, it's kind of more gradual. Women, it's all of a sudden it hits like a tidal wave. Who feels that? All of a sudden it hits, right? So energy and mood swings, all of a sudden you don't feel like yourself, you start to gain weight around your abdomen, you're not sleeping well. That's because you had these perfect hormones. They were in perfect harmony your whole life, right? Your menstrual cycle. But then all of a sudden they drop, they flatten. You lose estrogen, you lose progesterone and testosterone, that's important for women too, and growth hormone. So essentially the same thing is happening for both men and women, but in a different kind of pathway. Okay. I can't do a talk for you guys without talking about peptides. Who here is taking peptides from us? A bunch of you guys. All right, who here tried peptides for the first time? Anyone? How do you feel? Feel anything? You're not gonna feel much just from one injection, but I like to break them down into categories. So growth and metabolism. So these are the ones that are gonna help you build muscle and lose fat and also sleep better without side effects. So instead of taking HGH, which is kind of like a steroid, and you get negative side effects, you can just take a peptide that's gonna help your body do that much better. Peptides are really just signaling molecules. They literally just tell your cells what to do and how to do them better. We make them in our body. So insulin is a peptide. If anyone's tried Ozempic or Wegovy, those are peptides, semaglutide, tirzepatide. Then I'd like to break it down into tissue healing and inflammation control. So we have BPC-157, that's actually just literally called body protection compound. So if you wanna start with a peptide, that's one place to start. It's gonna bring down inflammation. All the ones here are gonna help repair your tissue. Whether you have injured tissue or you're just aging, you're not feeling well, you're damaged from toxins, these are the ones that are gonna help. And then mitochondria. So how do we recharge the battery? How do we get it to full charge? Did anyone do the Niagen IV? I knew they were booked up. Okay, do you feel energized? Right? So someone asked me, they're like, do you want some tequila before your talk? I said, no, I want a Niagen injection before my talk. That's what gives me energy. Anyone who's working as hard as we are needs to recharge the battery. As we age, we start to lose 50% of our NAD. It's a lot. So we're losing a lot of the charge in our battery as we age. So you want to replenish it consistently. You have to keep charging it. So Niagen, NAD, those are some of my favorite ways to do that. We have some peptides that do that too, like SS31, MOTS-C. Epithalon, I know someone here has asked me about it. It increases telomerase, so it extends your DNA, and our DNA shorten as we age, so you want to extend them. And then we have ones for neuroprotection. So these help with focus, cognition. Some are being researched for Alzheimer's. So I give it to anyone where I find a gene where they're at higher risk of Alzheimer's. We like to use these peptides too. So I think of longevity as a spectrum. You got to get the foundations of health in order. Then you need a test. You need precision analytics. You can't just start throwing things in. We need to know what's going on. Then we have the accelerators, right? The peptides, the things we just talked about, and then frontier, the really fun stuff. Next level things like stem cells, exosomes, PRP, ozone, a lot of regenerative therapies. Okay, I have a quick framework for you guys. So the foundations, you all probably know this, but really 80% of your health is here. This is where it's determined. How you eat, how you sleep, and how you move. So you wanna lift heavy, you wanna do zone 2 cardio. That means that you're maintaining a conversational pace. So you're doing a brisk walk or a light jog. It gives you metabolic flexibility. Deep sleep, that's where a lot of our repair happens. We had Orion here, we had Daybreak. Daybreak is gonna help with your deep sleep. So if you track your sleep with something like Whoop or Aura, check your deep sleep. That's really where a lot of your longevity is coming from. One of the most underrated things in longevity. Eating enough protein, and then stress hygiene. We can't get rid of stress, but we can make ourselves more resilient to it. One of the #1 ways, meditation, breath work, figure out a morning practice that works for you. Please don't start your day and just go straight to the computer. All right, precision analytics. How many of you did lab work today? All right. So that's just a snapshot of what our core lab assessment does. Our core lab assessment is over 100 biomarkers, and I like to do that 2 to 4 times a year. Not everyone needs it quarterly, but we're looking at next level cardiometabolic factors, your hormones, your thyroid, testosterone levels. I'm seeing the lowest testosterone levels I've ever seen right now, and it's coming from stress and toxins. We look at inflammation, nutrients, and then a couple longevity markers. If your doctor isn't testing these, he's doing you a disservice. Looking at things like ApoB and LPA, these are predictors of cardiovascular risk as you age. We don't just care about cholesterol anymore. It's really a full picture, and these are some of the predictors. IGF-1, this is an indirect marker of growth hormone. So we talked about growth hormone with the peptides. So especially if you're taking these peptides, you want to be looking at your IGF-1 levels. Homocysteine, this tells me about your methylation. So how's your DNA repair doing? And then DHEA, I've tested a lot of the DHEA here, and it's low, so you can't hide from me. I know your body's stressed out and tired. So we work on DHEA a lot. Genetics, you don't have to do all these, but I love it. Looking at your biological age, you can continue to track that. I like to do a blueprint because it also will tell you why your body responds the way it does to things like weight loss and exercise. So it helps us create a better blueprint for you. You can do early cancer detection. And then we have a functional aging index I like to call. You guys did a DEXA scan, a lot of you here, right? So I like to test DEXA 2 to 4 times a year. If you're doing growth hormone peptides or really focusing on muscle, do it quarterly. Has anyone tested their VO2 max? No? Maybe, I know Abe has. Abe's doing really well. Yeah, he's had one of the better VO2 maxes. He puts us all to shame. But so you get on a treadmill, it's really the maximum amount of oxygen you can take. These are all longevity predictors. We like to use EEG to tell us about your brain health, and then grip strength. This on its own, it can be a single predictor of longevity. There's so much science on your grip strength. So when we talk about lifting weights, that's a big part of it too. And then these are some of the fun ones. Testing your toxins, looking at micronutrients, looking at your cortisol. If I had to choose 1 or 2 here, it would be a toxin test and a gut microbiome. We can't get into all of that right now, but these are super important. Okay, more about charging your battery, because everyone's always asking me. For people like you, if you could do a Niagen or NAD IV once a month, that's incredible. Taking CoQ10 daily, taking creatine, we know it's having a renaissance because it does so much. It fuels our muscle, it's good for our brain, it's good for sleep, it's good for performance. I like to just put it in my morning drink and also when I work out. Taking magnesium, it's needed for over 300 reactions in the body. Urolithin A is a more fun one. It's new and in research, but it's helping kind of clear out old mitochondria. And then we have Therasage here doing red light. So doing things like red light or contrast therapy, free medicine, super easy. Okay, clearing the waste. Everyone's talking about what peptide to add, what supplement to add, but not enough people are talking about taking out the trash. You have to optimize your detox pathways. You gotta get rid of all the stuff coming in. So that's your liver, your lymph, your gut. I like to use glutathione for this. It's our body's master antioxidant. I like to do fasting, right? So we had Pearl on here doing intermittent fasting or fasting mimicking. That helps recycle our cells. Basically takes out the trash. Same with some of these senolytics. If you listen to Huberman, they're always talking about quercetin, fisetin, resveratrol. You don't need all of these. If you're sweating, you're going in a sauna, and you just, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, I would take at least one of these. But if you're sweating, that on its own is gonna be very helpful. And then last, get into the fun stuff. So I'm always asked by, a lot of founders where to start with peptides. Choose one of the growth hormone ones. Start with BPC, and then add in one like thymosin alpha for inflammation. Even if you just started with one, you're ahead of the game. Make sure your hormones are in check. So if you want to take exogenous testosterone, great. But I like to optimize it using DHEA. I like to optimize the thyroid. For women, we add things in like estrogen and progesterone. Again, not necessary for everyone. It's always personalized. That's why doing labs are so important. And then you can get into the even more fun stuff like exosomes and stem cell IVs. I like to do those. If you did it once a year, great. If you could do it twice a year, quarterly, even better. So aging really isn't about chasing time. We want to just upgrade the conversation between the biology and our lives. It's not luck, it's really design. We're in the next level of medicine. And I think that's all I have for you. Thank you, guys. I think we have time for one question, maybe, if anyone has one. No? All right, well, I'll be here. I'm going to be having dinner here. Come find me. Thank you guys for being here.